Do you want to live your best life? Most people think they need to do more, chase more success, take on more commitments, surround themselves with more people to be truly happy. But the truth is, the key to a better life isn't adding more. It's removing what no longer serves you. Think about it. How much of your stress, exhaustion, and frustration comes from things that quietly drain your energy? Toxic habits, negative people, unnecessary distractions. They clutter your mind and hold you back from becoming the person you were meant to be. The Stoics believed that happiness isn't found in having more, but in needing less. And that's exactly what we're going to explore today. In this video, we'll go over 11 things you should quietly eliminate from your life. The things that steal your peace, waste your time, and keep you stuck. And once you remove them, you'll be amazed at how much lighter, clearer, and more powerful your life becomes. So, if you're ready to step into a simpler, stronger, and more fulfilling way of living, let's dive in. Because sometimes, the best way to change your life isn't by doing more, it's by letting go. Number 1, letting go of toxic people. The first thing you must quietly eliminate from your life is toxic people. We often hear that you become the people you spend the most time with. Yet many of us hold on to relationships that drain us, limit us, or pull us away from who we are meant to be. Why? Because letting go is uncomfortable. Because we cling to history, nostalgia, and the illusion that past connections must dictate the future. But Stoic wisdom teaches that true strength is not in holding on, but in knowing when to walk away. The Stoics believed that the company we keep shapes our thoughts, our character, and ultimately, our destiny. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. And what influences our thoughts more than the people around us? If someone brings negativity, manipulation, or constant conflict into your life, they are not just taking your time, they are taking your peace, your clarity, and your ability to grow. A wise person does not entertain chaos, they eliminate it. Yet many hesitate. They think, but we've been friends for years, or they've done so much for me, or cutting someone out feels harsh. But the past does not justify the present if that relationship now brings harm. The Stoics believed in taking full responsibility for one's well-being, and that includes having the courage to curate your environment. Holding on to relationships that hinder you is like carrying dead weight. The longer you hold on, the heavier it becomes. I once knew someone who struggled with this lesson. He had a childhood friend who had once been like a brother to him. But as they grew older, their paths diverged. What had once been a supportive friendship became toxic and competitive. The friend constantly made belittling remarks, dismissed his achievements, and brought negativity into every conversation. Still, he felt obligated to stay connected. "We've been friends for so long," he told himself. But then he reflected on a lesson from Seneca. Associate with those who will make a better man of you. He asked himself, does this friendship make me better, or does it weigh me down? The answer was clear. Quietly, without drama or resentment, he stepped back, and almost instantly, he felt lighter. This is why quiet elimination is key. You do not need to announce your decision. You do not need to justify it to others. The more you publicize it, the more you invite guilt, explanations, and unnecessary opinions. But when you act with quiet conviction, you reclaim your power. You stop seeking permission to protect yourself. Letting go is not an act of cruelty. It is an act of self-respect. The Stoics understood that protecting one's energy is essential to a life of virtue If someone makes you doubt yourself, exhausts your spirit, or fills your life with unnecessary conflict, they are not part of your future. Walk away without resentment, without regret, and with the wisdom to know that true strength lies in letting go. Number 2, feeling sorry for yourself. There is nothing more self-defeating than a man who feels sorry for himself. Life can be cruel, unfair, and filled with challenges, but self-pity does nothing but weaken you. It traps you in a cycle of excuses, robs you of your potential, and convinces you that you are powerless. The Stoics understood this well. They believed that true strength is not found in avoiding hardship, but in how you respond to it. Every man faces difficulties, some greater than others, but the difference between those who rise and those who remain stuck is mindset. Feeling sorry for yourself does not change your circumstances. It does not remove the obstacles in your path. It only drains the energy you could be using to overcome, adapt, and grow. Marcus Aurelius, a man who led Rome through wars, plagues, and betrayal, did not allow himself to wallow in misery. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." History is filled with men who faced greater struggles than you and still achieved greatness. They did not succeed by complaining or embracing a victim mindset. They used their pain as fuel, turning obstacles into stepping stones. The Stoics believed that suffering is inevitable, but whether you let it define you or strengthen you is a choice. A man who allows self-pity to control him becomes weak, resentful, and stagnant. But a man who uses his struggles as fuel becomes unstoppable. No one is coming to save you. No amount of complaining will make life easier. The only way forward is through action. So instead of feeling sorry for yourself, rise. Let your pain forge you into something stronger. Use it, master it, and push forward. Number 3, conscious use of social media. Social media is a double-edged sword. It can educate, inspire, and even open doors to success. But it can also consume you, distract you, and make you feel like your life isn't enough. The problem isn't social media itself, it's how most people use it. Instead of using social media with intention, they let it use them. They scroll endlessly, watching other people's lives, comparing their own struggles to someone else's highlights. And slowly, without even realizing it, they start feeling dissatisfied, anxious, and lost. The Stoics warned against losing control over your own mind. Epictetus once said, "If you wish to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." What does that mean? It means that sometimes, to grow, you need to step away from distractions, focus on your own journey, and stop worrying about what everyone else is doing. Social media can be a powerful tool, but only if you control it. Otherwise, it controls you. Instead of letting social media steal your time and energy, use it with purpose. Think of it like a library, not a casino. Go in with a reason, maybe to learn something, connect with someone, or find inspiration, then leave. If you stay too long, it stops being a tool and starts becoming a trap. I've learned this the hard way. That's why I now have set times during the day when I don't touch social media, when I'm working, training, or spending time with loved ones. And when I do go online, I stop and ask myself, am I here for something useful, or am I just wasting time? That simple question has helped me avoid hours of mindless scrolling. If you ever feel drained, frustrated, or down after using social media, that's your mind telling you to take a break. Step away. Go for a walk. Pick up a book. Do something in the real world that makes you feel alive. Because at the end of the day, life isn't meant to be watched. It's meant to be lived. So don't waste it staring at someone else's story. Write your own. Number 4, self-doubt. Whenever we chase our goals, there comes a moment when self-doubt creeps in. It whispers that we aren't good enough, that we don't have what it takes, that maybe we're chasing something beyond our reach. This self-doubt can be crippling. It holds us back from taking action and keeps us further away from what we truly want. Most motivational advice tells us to simply believe in yourself. But let's be honest, when your self-doubt is strong, blind belief doesn't always help. The Stoics approached self-doubt differently. Instead of ignoring it or pretending it doesn't exist, they would examine it with logic and reason. And if we take a step back, we often realize that self-doubt isn't completely irrational. It exists because, in some ways, we aren't ready yet. If you set a goal to become a millionaire, but you've never made that kind of money before, it's natural to feel uncertain. You don't yet possess the skills, knowledge, or experience to achieve it. Otherwise, you would have done it already. And that's okay. Self-doubt isn't your enemy. It's a signal pointing to what you need to develop. Instead of forcing yourself into blind confidence, shift your perspective. Picture the 2.0 version of yourself, the person who has already accomplished what you're striving for. Ask yourself, what makes him capable? What skills does he have? What mindset does he operate with? List them down. And instead of just chasing the goal, chase becoming that version of yourself. Every time you learn a new skill, gain more experience, or develop discipline, you move closer to becoming him. And as you grow, self-doubt naturally fades. Not because you forced confidence, but because you built the competence to deserve it. The best way to deal with self-doubt isn't to ignore it or let it paralyze you. Use it as a guide. See it as a reminder that growth is required. Instead of asking, "Why do I feel doubt?" ask, "What do I need to do to become the person who no longer doubts himself?" And then, step by step, become him. Number 5, let go of resentment. Many people carry grudges without even realizing it, against people who have wronged them, against past failures, or even against themselves. Resentment lingers deep within, shaping our thoughts, emotions, and actions in ways we don't always recognize. And while it may seem like something we can suppress, it never truly disappears. It lives inside us, keeping us from true inner peace. I understand this feeling well. I've carried resentment toward myself for a long time, blaming myself for mistakes, missed opportunities, and things I wished I had done differently. And I won't lie, hatred can be a powerful force. When channeled into ambition, it can push you forward, give you the energy to fight, and make you relentless in the pursuit of your goals. But here's the truth. Hatred corrupts the soul. It may serve as fuel for a while, but it is a poison that slowly eats away at you. The Stoics knew this well. Holding on to hatred, even when it feels justified, is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to suffer. You can't carry hate in your heart forever. If you let it stay too long, it consumes you, distorts your peace, and traps you in a cycle of negativity. That's why forgiveness is not for others. It's for yourself. It's not about excusing what happened or pretending pain doesn't exist. It's about choosing not to let the past control you anymore. The Stoics believed in focusing only on what you can control. And one of the few things you always have power over is your mindset and your ability to let go. Use your resentment productively if you must. Let it push you toward growth, but once it has served its purpose, release it. Free yourself from the burden of carrying that weight. Because in the end, forgiveness isn't weakness. It's the highest form of strength. It is the key to inner peace, happiness, and true freedom. Number 6, remove the noise. There's too much noise around us. The constant flow of news, social media updates, and digital chatter fills every empty moment, pulling us in 1,000 directions. We consume information so relentlessly that we rarely stop to ask ourselves, do I even need to know this? Is this helping me? Or is it just distracting me? Sometimes, the best thing we can do for our mind, our focus, and our peace is to mute the noise. The Stoics understood the power of silence. They believed that wisdom doesn't come from endlessly reacting to the outside world. It comes from looking inward, filtering out the unnecessary, and allowing space for clarity. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." But how often do we retreat into ourselves? How often do we simply sit in silence, without the need to check our phones, respond to messages, or fill the air with distractions? Turn off your notifications. Step away from the noise. Find a quiet place. Have a cup of coffee or tea and just be. Think about things, or think about nothing at all. The answers you've been searching for are often waiting in the silence. Number 7, avoid constantly comparing yourself to others. Did you know that social media has been scientifically linked to higher levels of anxiety and depression? A study from the University of Pennsylvania found that people who reduced their social media use to just 30 minutes a day reported lower stress and greater life satisfaction. Why? Because comparison is a thief of joy. And the more we compare ourselves to others, the more miserable we become. Most people constantly compare themselves to others, and that's why they feel stuck and unfulfilled. It's natural to look at what others are doing, but comparison is a double-edged sword. It can push you to be better, but it can also leave you feeling inadequate, restless, and frustrated. When you focus too much on what others are doing, you lose sight of your own journey. The Stoics understood this well. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "How much time he gains who does not look to see what his neighbor says or does or thinks, but only at what he does himself." Instead of fixating on others' progress, focus on your own growth. Every person has a different path, and what works for someone else may not work for you. The moment you stop comparing, you start appreciating your own progress. Now, let's be clear. Comparison has value in competition. If you're in a sport, a business, or any kind of rivalry, it can push you to improve. But outside of that, comparison serves no purpose. It only brings stress and unnecessary pressure. The best way to measure success is not by stacking yourself against others, but by looking at who you were yesterday and making sure you are better today. So instead of scrolling through other people's highlights, turn your focus inward, build your own skills, follow your own purpose, and become the best version of yourself. Because at the end of the day, the only person you should compete with is your past self. Number 8, avoid gossip. We live in times where men gossip more than they lead, where conversations once filled with ideas and purpose are now laced with whispers and judgment. Gossip may seem harmless, but it is one of the most destructive habits a man can engage in. Think about it. When you speak badly of another person, you are assassinating their character. You may not be taking their life, but you are destroying their reputation, poisoning how others see them, and contributing to a cycle of negativity that benefits no one. The Stoics believed in self-mastery, not just in action, but in speech. Epictetus warned that what we say reflects who we are. To gossip is to reveal insecurity, smallness, and lack of discipline. It is to seek entertainment in another's flaws, rather than focusing on self-improvement. A man who speaks negatively of others often does so to distract from his own shortcomings. Negative words spread like wildfire, and once they are spoken, they cannot be taken back. A simple test before speaking. Would I want this to be said about me? If the answer is no, keep your mouth shut. A strong man builds, while a weak man tears down. Which one do you choose to be? Even when those around you gossip, do not join them. Instead, surround yourself with people who value positivity, honesty, and meaningful conversations. A man should spend his words uplifting, teaching, and strengthening, not tearing others apart. In doing so, you create a culture where respect and wisdom thrive, and where you, in turn, become a man of true value. Number 9, waiting for the perfect moment. Most people waste their lives waiting for the perfect moment to start that business, to begin a new habit, to take the next step in their relationships, or to finally chase their dreams. But here's the truth. The perfect moment does not exist. It never has, and it never will. Life is unpredictable, messy, and full of uncertainty. And if you're waiting for the stars to align before taking action, you will be waiting forever. The Stoics understood this well. They believed that we only ever have control over the present moment, not the past, not the future, just right now. Seneca once said, "While we wait for life, life passes. If you keep waiting for the right time, you will wake up years later realizing that opportunity never waited for you." I learned this lesson the hard way. A few years ago, I kept telling myself I would start my own business, but only when I was truly ready. I needed more knowledge, more experience, more financial security, or at least that's what I told myself. Every time I had the chance to begin, I hesitated. I was waiting for certainty. Then one day, I had a conversation with an old friend. He had just quit his job and started his own company, with half the experience I had and no perfect plan. A year later, he was thriving, and I was still in the same place, waiting. That moment hit me hard. The difference wasn't ability, it was action. I finally stopped waiting, took the leap, and even though the beginning was chaotic and uncertain, it was the best decision I ever made. There is no perfect time to start a business, commit to self-improvement, or take control of your life. The only thing you can do is start now. Start messy, start uncertain, but start. Action creates momentum, waiting creates regret. If you keep waiting for the perfect time, you'll spend your life watching others take the chances you never did. The perfect time isn't real. The time is now. Number 10, don't take yourself too seriously. When it comes to your goals, discipline is essential. Without focus, consistency, and hard work, success is impossible. But just as important as discipline is balance. You can be serious about your ambitions without losing sight of joy, laughter, and the simple pleasures of life. If you spend every moment obsessing over productivity and self-improvement, you risk burning out, losing motivation, and making life feel like an endless grind. The Stoics understood this well. While they emphasized self-mastery and discipline, they also believed in the importance of enjoying life along the way. Seneca once said, "Life is long if you know how to use it." This doesn't mean only working hard. It means knowing when to push forward and when to pause, breathe, and appreciate the journey. Laughter and moments of joy reduce stress, increase energy, and help you stay motivated. They make the process more enjoyable, keeping you from feeling like you're trapped in an endless cycle of work and self-improvement. It's easy to believe that success requires constant intensity. But the truth is, those who enjoy the process are the ones who stay committed in the long run. Hard work and discipline will get you far, but if you don't allow yourself to enjoy life, what are you really working for? Many people make the mistake of thinking they'll allow themselves to have fun and relax once they achieve their goals. But by then, they've built a mindset that only values productivity over presence, making it difficult to ever feel truly satisfied. There will be times when you need to be serious, focused, and relentless. That's part of the journey. But don't become the person who takes life so seriously that they forget to live. Laugh, take breaks, enjoy the process. Because success is meaningless if you never stop to appreciate the moments that make life fulfilling. The wisest and strongest people know when to work hard, but they also know when to step back, smile, and embrace the beauty of simply being alive. Number 11, let go of the past. Too many people live in the past, replaying old mistakes, regrets, and missed opportunities. They don't realize that the past is over. It no longer exists except in their own minds. The only reason to look back is to learn. If there's a lesson to take from it, take it. But once you've learned what you need, move on. The Stoics understood this well. They believed that the past is outside of our control, and dwelling on it only robs us of the present moment. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Do not let your mind dwell on what you have lost, but rather on what remains to you." If you keep focusing on what could have been, you will miss what is still possible. The moment that matters most in life is now. You cannot change the past, no matter how much you think about it. The only time you have control over is this very moment, and only a fool would waste the present by being stuck in what's already gone. If you want to level up in life, focus on the now. That's where your power is. That's where change happens.